Okay, welcome back to the Gradius style shoot 'em up series. In this part, we're going to be adding power-ups. If you can think of any good shoot 'em up, you know that it's not complete without a full range of power-ups. So we're going to be adding a few different types. One power-up type will probably increase our ship's speed. Another one will add more guns to our ship so we can shoot more. And another one's going to actually give us a shield. So the first two things we already have implemented. You know, the ship can move and we can shoot bullets. However, we don't have a shield yet in the game. So I'm thinking of something that's basically like an extra hit. So if we have a shield and we get hit, the shield gets destroyed. And then if we don't have a shield, we basically get destroyed. So let's just start with that. All right, so my player's ship is inside my level prefab here. So level ship, let's just go ahead and add a shield that we can basically turn on and off. And we'll go ahead and give it a sprite, circle, stretch it out. Something that looks more or less like, there we go. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and make it sort of bluish and fairly transparent. There we go. And then we're gonna add, I guess, like a really cool flicker effect to make it a little bit more shield-like. All right, so shield. And this script, its only job is really to make the sprite flicker. Oh, let me go ahead and put that on the object, not on the shield. All right, so simple enough. We're going to feed it a sprite renderer. And then as long as it exists, we're just going to go ahead and basically enable and disable every single frame, and it'll just look like a flicker. That's pretty much the only idea I got for that right now. So sprite render.enabled equals not sprite render.enabled, and that'll basically just invert it back and forth between true and false. Let's see if that looks right. Oh, right, we got to actually attach it. So circle there. There we go. There's our little flickering shield, I guess. Pretty cool. All right, so now we want the ability to actually activate and deactivate our shield based on whether or not we just got a power up or we just got hit or something like that. And we'll do that from within our ship script. So ship. All right, let's just reference the game object shield. And we know that it's always going to be a child of this game object, so we can simply just shield equals transform, find shield game object. And then we'll go ahead and add a couple of methods to actually activate and deactivate it. So activate shield. And that's simply going to be activating the game object. It is game object shield.setActive true, and deactivate shield set can't spell today false. All right, and then as soon as off the start, we basically don't want to have access to the shield. Well, let's just for testing purposes, we'll keep it active for now. And then we'll go ahead and say as soon as we hit something here, then we'll just deactivate the shield. Or let's say has shield. So whether or not we actually have the shield. And that'll just return whether or not the shield is currently active. And that's the active self property there. So if has shield, then we don't die, otherwise we do. And I guess we'll always destroy what we hit, no matter what. And then otherwise we just deactivate the shield. And then the next time we collide with something, this has shield will be false, and then we'll end up getting destroyed. All right, let's just play to see if that works. All right, we have our shield. Let's collide with something here. There it's deactivated, and there I died. Cool. That's exactly what we wanted, how we want it to work. Okay, So let's come over here and actually deactivate it off the start. Deactivate shield. All right, and now we're going to actually need the power up that activates the shield for us. All right, so let's get to work on making our power ups. And let's get out of this prefab, and then we'll just go ahead and create a game object. Power up there, and then we'll give it a sprite as well. Sprite, give it a square. It's fine. All right, let's move it over here. Power up. Put that over here for testing, and we'll go ahead and say that we also want it to move just like the ships. We want it to move from right to left. Move speed 5, I guess that's fine. We'll change the color of this thing to represent that it's going to be a shield power up. Some blue color there. All right, so now let's get to work on the power up script. All right, power up. Power up. Now power up's basically going to have just a small set of functionality here of different things that it could do for us. The first of which obviously being activate shield. Public activate shield. And that'll tell us whether or not this power up will activate our shield. We'll go ahead and say add guns. And then finally something to make us move a little faster, increase speed. And that's really all the power up needs for now. It's really just a definition of what kind of things we're going to be getting when we collect it. And I guess we can set it up to be a combination of things if we really wanted to, but for right now I'll probably just set one of these things as true and the rest to false. So let's go ahead and say that this is an activate shield power up. There we go. And the way that we're actually going to collect these things is within our ship script. So since we're colliding with these things, obviously we'll also need a box collider. So box collider 2D, and then we'll set it as a trigger so we can get that on trigger enter. All right, so let's go back to our ship, and we'll go to our collision over here and basically just add an extra little collision check. Power up. Power up type. And then if that power up exists, we'll go ahead and say if power up dot activate shield, activate our shield. And we'll just probably collect that right off the start. Let's move it back a little bit just in case. And our shield should be deactivated on the start, and then there we go. Now we have the shield. Oh, the power up didn't get destroyed. That's another thing. So now I can hit something, and then yeah, there we go. All right, so always destroy the power up as well. Destroy power up game object. Scroll down here a little bit. Oh, my apologies again for the font size. Always forget these things. All right, so now we have our shield and our power up that can actually give us our shield. So the next logical thing to do is to create the power up that will give us more guns. And for that, we have to do a little bit of work here. So let's say we have more or less a level. So int power up gun level, set to 0. And then we'll basically map that to some value that we define on the guns as basically a requirement, more or less. So we'll say that the gun requires, so let's say public int power up level requirement, set that equal to 0 from the start, and then go back to the ship, and from the beginning our power up level will be 0, and we'll basically just deactivate every gun that doesn't have a 0 level power up that's higher than 0, more or less. Or so if gun.powerup level requirement is not 0, then basically just completely deactivate it. Dot game object dot set active false. And then we'll create a way for ourselves to actually get more guns. So let's see. Add guns. So we'll basically take our power up level here, and so power up gun level, increment that. So now our level moves from 0 to 1, and then we'll just iterate over all the guns again for each gun in guns. If gun dot power up level requirement equals our current power up level now, then we'll go ahead and activate it. game object set active true. Okay, and then if we collide with a power up, that will actually do that. If power up dot add guns, then we'll add guns. And as for the speed power up, that one is probably pretty simple. I'll just go ahead and also make a little method for it just in case. What is it? Increase speed. And that'll probably just change our move speed, right? So this is move amount, move speed. Yeah, okay, so we'll just do that. Move speed. I guess we'll just increment it by 1. What's its starting value? 3? Or I guess we can just double it. Yeah, why not? Let's go crazy there. All right. And then if the power up tells us to do that, then we'll do that. Increase speed. All right. So now we'll go ahead and just change some of the settings on our guns so that their level requirements are actually set up correctly when we collect the power up. All right, so in our level prefab, our guns here, let's go ahead and activate them all. All right, so let's say this one's on by default, so its level requirement is 0. These two here, let's go ahead and do these together. These will be level 1. These two will be level 2. And then I'm gonna actually create another one just for fun here. So this one is actually gonna be a special gun. Let's see in here. Yeah, let's put it down here, and then, or up here maybe. And then we'll give it a sprite even. So basically like a little object that is now attached to our ship. Right, so 0.5, 0.5, something like that. Right, so now this is an object that's attached to our ship. Where is that set up? And this will be an auto shooting gun. Auto shoot, it's active. And we'll make it shoot pretty often, I guess, 0.1. And that'll be the 3rd level of gun power up. All right, so let's take our power up then. Let's come back here. Let's take our power up. Let's prefab this and create a few different ones. So that's power up shield. That's not how you spell shield. Right, and then we'll just copy that. Let's see, gun, speed, gun, speed, and then we'll just change the little definition down here. Where is it? Okay, this one is gun, and speed is speed. And then we'll also change, so maybe speed is, change color of the sprite. Speed is something like magenta, and gun is something like red maybe, even though those are really close, but orangish red. There we go. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and add then all these guys to the scene and test them out. Let's delete this guy. So we'll add a shield power up here, a gun power up here, and then a speed power up here. All right, let's see what happens there. If I set up all my guns correctly, now I should have more guns, and now I should have more speed. Feels faster. Oh, yep, and I do have, oh, the guns aren't actually active for some reason. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see, do we activate those guns? It's gonna say level gun. So they're all active. And the gun sets it to active. Is it when it shoots? Is it still actually calling shoot on a gun? And the game object is inactive. Yeah, okay, so the game object is inactive, but it's calling shoot. So we just have to make sure that if gun.gameObject.active, then we can actually shoot. Otherwise it'll shoot with an inactive game object, so the gun script doesn't actually do anything in terms of telling the bullet that it generates to set its direction and stuff like that, so the bullet doesn't actually move around. Let's just test that out. Still doing it? Still doing it? Still doing it. Maybe save the file. There we go. That helps. All right. There we go. Okay. And we got our gun power up, and I think we're moving faster, and we got our shield. Very cool. All right, let's see if we can max out our guns here really quick. So let's go power up gun. Just why not more of them? It's just so we can actually see them. And then we'll collect them one by one, and then we'll be at the maximum level after 3, I think. So yeah, we'll gain a set of guns there, a set of guns there, and our auto shooting gun. Nice. So we have maximum shoot 'em up capabilities now. And this thing, now I can rest my finger, right? It's just like doing the work for me. I mean, at this point, this game is basically just like a power trip. Just, oh, I missed it. It's fine. I don't have auto shooting, but I am overpowered. All right, so, and just for fun, let's go ahead and say that also power-ups give you points. Because why not? Point value, give it like a lot of points. Just to even further incentivize us wanting to get these power-ups. And they're all off by 1,000. So we can actually now create power-ups that aren't actually power-ups. They're just more or less like just extra point value items to get, kind of like in Pac-Man where you have the fruit, Ms. Pac-Man maybe. So this is just like power-up points, and it doesn't do anything. It just gives you a lot of points. And I'll just lower these other point values to something more reasonable for 100. And then the points really give you like 1,000, and it's gonna be, this one's gonna be like a gold color. There we go. And then we'll throw that couple of these into the game, into the scene. Like so, a few of those, and just see how those work. All right, so that should be, well, I guess let's define what where we're supposed to get our points here. So where were we originally getting points from? That was happening in the destructible, right? That was in the destructible script. Let's go ahead and see how that one did its thing. All right, it's basically referencing the level, add score, some value. So we'll just do the exact same thing. So ship, and doesn't matter. There's no need for an if statement here, and this is going to be power up dot point value. There we go. And we'll just try to collect as many of those as we can. Oh, there we go. 2,000, 3,000. Cool. All right, and I'm at max gun. Awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty much it when it comes to power-ups. I mean, we got pretty much everything covered. We got our ship gaining speed. Let's just test. Why don't we just test that out really quick? Let's add a couple of these speed guys. Oh, that's moving the square again. Power up, duplicate, duplicate, speed. Let's give us like a lot of speed here. And I can just leave those all in the same spot, and I'll just collect them all at once. Probably. Not really sure. Oh, wow, that is way too, wow, crap. I actually can't control this anymore. I'm going to have to stay in the same spot. This is kind of wild. All right, well, this was pretty fun, adding all these different power-up types. I'll probably want to strategically, you will probably want to strategically place these things around the level in a way that makes more sense instead of just uber powering you up off the start. All right, well, I hope you had some fun and you learned something cool. That's power-ups in a nutshell. So in the next video, I think we'll be doing something a little different, not actually implementing any features, but we're just going to try and pretty much just close this whole thing off. So thanks again for watching. Go ahead, like the video if you did, and subscribe. Catch the next one. Thank you very much. Take care.